Hi, I'm Di. Welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. And if this is your first time, on this channel we do a lot of things in the kitchen, lots of cooking. We do some crafts, some sewing. I will be doing some crocheting down the track to teach people how to make basic items. And we do gardening. So that's where I've been. If I look a little bit hot and flustered, I've been out in the garden and I've been picking things and looking to see what's ready to pick in the next few coming days. So I was very lucky. I picked lots of beans. I picked some ruby red chard, and I've got zucchinis coming on. I've got cabbages just about ready. The tomatoes are quite probably about 6 to 8 weeks away yet, but they've got their flowers, so they will be producing some fruit. And what else have we got down there? We've got pumpkins, we've got watermelon, garlic. The garlic's just about ready to harvest. Normally I'd harvest it on the 11th of November. Today is the 15th, but the weather that we've had, it hasn't been really warm, and I'm waiting for them to die back and then they'll be ready to harvest. So I'm thinking that probably another 2 or 3 weeks. The same with the onions, they're just about ready to harvest as well. But I've got lots of rhubarb down there. Trying to think what else I've got. There's beetroot, they're only a few weeks away, so we're going to have lots of stuff coming up that I'll be showing you what I do with them in the kitchen. But that's why I'm really hot, because I've been down there and I've been rushing to get everything picked and get it in. So what are we doing today in the kitchen? We're going to be making meatballs. So I bought a bulk pack of mince. Now in America I think that they call it hamburger, but this is minced beef, and that's what we call it here in Australia. And what I'm doing with it, I've already made spaghetti bolognese. That will be on another video, but I'll put the link to it in the description, so you'll be able to find that one. As I said, I bought 2 kilos, so I've used half a kilo for the spaghetti bolognese. I'm using a kilo for the meatballs that I'm making, and then I will use the other half kilo for something else. So the reason that I like to make these meatballs is that I make them and freeze them. So I often freeze them 2 different ways. I'll freeze them just the meatballs. Sometimes I'll put them in a sauce and I'll freeze the meatballs and the sauce all together, ready just to put it into the oven, and then you can serve it up however you want, with some pasta, with some rice, with the salad. But let's have a look at the ingredients that we're going to be using, and let's get on to it. So the ingredients that we're going to be using, there's 1 kilo of minced beef. I've got gluten-free breadcrumbs there. We've got leek powder. You can see in one of my other videos how I made that leek powder. I've got 2 eggs. I've got some chives that I've chopped up. There I've got some garlic that I've chopped up finely, and some rosemary, which I just picked while I was out in the garden. So let's get onto it and start making it. Okay, so it's just a matter of adding everything to our bowl with our mince. So we're just going to add the eggs, the garlic, the rosemary, the chives, I'll add some leek powder. Probably what I'm adding there is about 2 tablespoons. Now I judge this on what it looks like when I mix it. So I'm probably putting about 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs in there to start with, and then we'll see if it needs some more or not. So then we just get busy and we just mix it all. The other thing that we're going to need is some oil for cooking this in. We're going to fry it. So I use olive oil, but you can use whatever oil suits you. Now the reason I like to make these and put them in the freezer and have them ready is because coming up to Christmas, it's pretty hectic. You never really know what you're doing. You know, you do a lot of impromptu stuff. Family or friends come and visit at the drop of a hat, which I love. And I just like to have something ready that I can just grab out and stick in the oven Now, you can use these meatballs in so many different ways. If you wanted to, if you had a crowd of people here, you could do a big spaghetti and meatballs and put it in the middle of the table in a great big bowl and let everybody serve themselves, and then all you have to do is make a salad alongside it and you've got a great meal. The other thing you can do, you can serve it as like a party food. You can just put it on a platter with some different sauces, maybe some barbecue sauce, some tomato sauce, and some toothpicks, and people can just have a meatball and enjoy it that way. So there we are. They look pretty good. So we'll move over to the stove now and I'll shape them and start cooking them. Okay, we're at the stove here. I'm just heating up my pan there. I put some oil in it. And I'll just bring over the meat. Now the trick with this is, I'm just going to move you a little bit. The trick with this is wet your hands. If your hands are wet while you're forming the meatballs, it's a lot easier. The meat just doesn't stick to your hands. So we'll make our meatballs. Now what we need to do is to just make sure that they're all the same size. That way they'll cook evenly. And also they look nice when they're the same size. I mean, if you've got all different sizes, it just looks a bit strange. So we're just going to go through and make our meatballs and load that pan up. And there you go, the pan is full. So I just have to wait for them to cook and then I'm going to be turning them. I think they've got a long way to go yet. But I'll just keep turning them until they're cooked. Now what I'll also do, once I've cooked them, once they're brown on the outside, I'll put them on a tray and then I'll put them in the oven to cook a little bit further because I want to make sure that they are cooked all the way through. And there you have it. We've got our tray ready to go into the oven. So we're just going to do that. We'll just pop that in the oven and we'll cook that for about 15 to 20 minutes. And the oven is on 160. Okay, so they're all out the oven. I don't know if you can see that one. Yes, there's one just down the front that I've just opened up because I want to make sure that they're completely cooked all the way through. And now I'm just going to be putting them into a container and then I'll label the container and put it into the freezer. So we've made quite a few. And the other thing that I like to have this for is because I do have adult children who've got their own families, and often if I can take them a meal when I know they're super busy with work or just with events that come up. Everybody gets busy around Christmas time, so if I've got these in the freezer, I can make them into a meal like spaghetti bolognese, spaghetti and meatballs, or I can just give them the meatballs and they can do what they want with them. So that's another reason why I like to do it. Have it all cooked in the freezer and it's ready to go. Now, as I said, I put rosemary in here. You can put whatever herbs you fancy. You might not like rosemary. Sometimes I'll put just mixed herbs. Yeah, you can put whatever you like in. Sometimes I put Worcestershire sauce in it. You can do it how you like. So there you go. We've got that container full, ready to go into the freezer. And we've got this one ready for me to taste. So let's go and see how it tastes. It needs salt, but other than that, it's perfect. So if I was serving it in a sauce, that sauce would have the salt that it needs. Yeah, it needs a little bit of salt. And also, if you're just serving them up and you're like using a toothpick to dip them in sauce, the sauce that you dip them in will have some salt in it. So yes, really, really nice. The meat's really nice and juicy. Yeah, not dry at all. And you can, the flavour of those herbs is coming through it, and the garlic is really nice. Excuse me. I'll say goodbye on that note. Thanks for watching. Sorry. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Click that button, the little bells, so that you are notified whenever I have a new video available. And share it with your friends if you like it. Okay, thanks once again. Bye.